So I've mixed up my clay. I'm extruding it through my extruder. It runs on a hydraulic, pump. Anyways, I have to pull it down because see how it tends to curve? And I have my wire cutter right there handy right beside it. Cut off the first vase. And as the second vase is starting to come out, and I'm going to pull it down straight. I'll straighten it a bit better after when I make it, of course. And I find it's going to be easier if I take it from the wire from the other side. So I'll cut off the second vase. That one's a bit longer. And as the pump gets more air in the tank, it comes out faster. So that's the last vase. That's the tail end of the... Okay, I've measured my vase on top of the slab of clay to know where I can slip and score the liquid clay. That's what that brown stuff is. I'm just putting it on there. I'm going to score it, like scrape it back into it again. And that way, more it's into the clay, that acts like the glue to glue the together, the two together. And then just before I put it on, I'm just going to clean the clay off the inside circle, so otherwise it'll show on the inside of the thing. So I put the vase on top of the clay, and I've got a rubber tool. I'm pressing it down into it, just making sure that it's really secure together so it doesn't come off. Okay, it's on tight enough, so I'll take my scalpel and I'm just going to cut around it to cut the clay off, to cut the base right off of it and get rid of all that excess clay there. It's hard to see because I got my hand in the way, but all I'm doing is I'm squeezing the bottom up and just taking the excess clay and just squeezing it up into the trunk. I want to make a root to make it look like roots in the bottom, so I'm kind of squeezing the clay out to give it that effect as well too, and it compresses it together better, the bottom onto it. So this is what the bottom looks like. I'm just tweaking up a little bit more clay just to smooth it out a bit more. I'm not careful making it really good because it's going to be tree roots. Now to make the bark on it, I'm just got this loop tool and I'm just carving out some sections out of it to make it look more like bark. And you can see as I'm carving the brown on the outside off, the color that's coming through, because this is made out of brown, white, and black clay. And so I had the color that comes underneath it. It comes out and it shows, and it gives it a little bit more texture, a little bit more color, because this will be glazed in a clear glaze, so it will be that color. And you can see these ones here, it almost looks like tree roots, the rings of the tree as it comes out, not the roots but the rings of the trees there. And that's what, just the way the layers of the clay came on. And I'm also carving out the bottom bits and pieces to accentuate the roots at the bottom, and I'll tidy that up and make that cleaner later on. So all the carving is done. So I'm going to put some little branches on here. I'm taking just a lug of clay, and I slip and score. So what I'm doing is I'm just scoring the edge of the tree trunk, put some slip on there, and then I take a little nub of clay that I've already cut out. I've rolled out of clay and cut some nubs out of it, and I'm just going to stick that on. Make sure it's really stuck on by pushing the clay back down into it. Looks pretty messy now, but of course it'll be cleaned up later on. And take my trusty rubber tool here that I've got, and I'm just pulling the clay back down so that it's really secure and firm into there. This is another nub that I did earlier. So I'm going to put another one on. Put 3 nubs on this tree trunk, and then the video putting this one on, it's there, but I've sped it up quite fast so that you don't have to sit there and watch through the whole thing, and just let it go through real quick and just show you how I'm doing it. So now I'm going to just clean up all the excess clay that's on there. Plus also I've mushed up some of the bark cutouts that I had made earlier. So I'm just going to put them back in around just to tidy up the edge. And then I take this pointing wooden tool that I have, and I'm just scoring through the clay to give it a little bit of lines to simulate more bark. So it's not just completely smooth and my hand's in the way again. Yeah, so just trim it up. And then cutting off just a bit extra, just sort of. And what I'm doing is just sticking the end of it in there and make a bit of a hole so it looks like it's a hollow branch coming out of there. Because this is like a dead tree. So the top's awfully crooked, so I'm just sort of cutting around it. I'm not careful as to make sure it's quite level, because again, it's just the edge of the tree trunk. So just cutting off all the excess clay around the top, and I'll come back and finish the tree nubs later on once I get this done first. So after I get it cut off, I'm just going to take the edge of clean up the top edge with a sponge just to smooth it out a bit. And I'm going to take the clay at the edge and pinch it with my fingers and just squeeze it and twist it and bend it up. So again, gives it a really much more organic look. That's what I'm going for, an organic tree. Okay, I finished making it. Now I just have to bisque fire it and then glaze it. So hope you enjoyed this video. You can like and share my video as well too.